We're previewing Manchester United's next game where the American Red Devils and United's going to Fulham, Craven Cottage. We're going to Southwest London, West London. Should be there. American Red Devils were supposed to be abroad for the Rangers win and for the Fulham game on Sunday. Fortunately, couldn't make it. Personal stuff on the home front for both of us. But United, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Mid-table matchup. I think Fulham a couple places up the table from us. United, we're shit. We're a shit United side in the dumps, not playing well. Got an important win in the Europa League to help us push through to the round of 16, but United need to get a result in the league. We are dying for a win, and I don't think we're getting a win against Fulham on the road. This team lacks guile. They lack a backbone. They fall over with a slight breeze. So I think Fulham 10th place, frisky at home. Sir, have you seen this team? We lose to everybody. I had no confidence going into Fulham.
I mean, we fired our manager. I just there's a little bit of this
You expect us to win this game?
The foam. I don't expect, but I don't need to get at I don't need to get after him like that. It's like, hey, we're going to Fulham. This team hasn't this manager hasn't figured out who the dogs are. We haven't really been able to put together consistent performances. This is going to be a tough test away. And nobody knows who's going to show up. We could see Fulham 4-1. We could see United 3-1. We could see anything. So for me as a United fan, I'm like, hey, don't sell Garnacho. I'm more worried about that than I am worried about the Fulham result at the end of the day, because that is going to set that is basically saying there's something wrong with the club. And that we're selling promising young talent for cash issues related to the Glazers ownership structure and Sir Jim not ponying up enough cash. Somebody made the mistake because the plan wasn't to buy Xerxes and sell Garnacho. That wasn't the plan, but we did it. And if their ownership is now impacting not us not being able to maybe purchase the level of player we want, but now to sell our promising young talent, things are much worse than they are on the pitch, because the front office, what's going on at this club, alarm bells are ringing, and I'm getting very, very concerned because the club's writing letters to the 1958. And
oh man, so sorry.
And it's they're we don't got any money. I'm the Glazers took out all this debt. The deal that was done with Sir Jim, all the money went to secondary to the Glazers.
Correct.
So now you want to raise season ticket prices. You want us to feel bad for the burden of debt that you've placed on the club and the deal, the non-optimal deal with Ratcliffe. By the way, Ratcliffe put in $1.2 billion. $1 billion of that could have gone to the club in the new stadium. They just decided to put it in their pocket. So this whole idea that we have to have crocodile tears for the Glazers is out of control. And selling our young talent would be just a huge mistake at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping we show up against Fulham. But this is a sacked manager season. We got to make the best of it. And so I hope we can show up. I hope we can put in a performance. I hope the manager finds his dogs. But that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know how many dogs are in this crew. That's the problem, is it's just an absence of dogs. Garnacho has some dog in him. And the thing is, you start selling players like him mid-season, you're in trouble. And I know we're in trouble. We talk about the financials a lot more than most Manchester United podcasters, but this is beyond the pale, because like you said, it's you're going out and you're buying fucking Onana, Højlund, and Xerxes, and you got to sell your Garnacho. We have so few attacking players that the idea of even selling an attacker, let alone one of Garnacho and Ahmad, is just madness. It's just who's going in next, bro? Sancho, Rashford, Anthony? It's they're all gone or on their way out, and we need whatever talent we have to hold on to. So it's I just don't get it, because the replacement price for a player of his quality is at least $60 million. And at the end of the day, we need him. And the best chance we have this season is to win the Europa League. That's it. That's all we got. We're not finishing the top 4. We're not finishing the top 6, but we can win the Europa League, and Garnacho would help, and he's going to do a lot better. Unless you can pull off a fucking screamer and get, what's his name, out of Turkey, that world-class striker of Nigeria, you're not doing a trade-up with Osimhen. Osimhen, yeah, okay. Yeah. If it was Osimhen for Garnacho, you said that with the Napoli trade, that's one thing. You're selling to Chelsea, who are flying in 4th place, might win the league next year, and then he'll rub you in the face. That is not going to end well. No, it means the United's in the mud, bro. Face down in the mud.
That legitimately breaks my heart. It hurts. like the Scouse Bastards winning 20 doesn't hurt.
That hurts less than
Do you know what I'm saying? Because like we were
inevitability.
here. We were there. We were top of the mountain. Never thought we would go down.
So fast.
We were just we were always going to be on the top. Just like on the top so frequently that you forgot what despair felt like. And we've fallen down the mountain and we've hit a lot of bumps. And those have hurt along the way. Each one, the treble that City won, losing the league, not being able to punch through, firing multiple managers. And then you get to the Scouse Bastards, they just won't go away. They're going to win the 20th title. That 20 times is going to go away and we're going to be tied. And then you're like, well, I can't worry about them because I got to worry about me.
I'm in 13th. I'm in 13th place.
And then you start selling world-class youth. And that is where you're seeing, like, that's the 1,000-yard stare. You don't know if you can come back from that. You sell a kid like Manu or Garnacho, that's a bullet to the heart right there. And I feel this one. If Garnacho went to Chelsea and became like a world-class elite player, like you can't come back from that. Like as a club, you can't, like Garnachos don't grow on trees, sir. It's like you sell him to Chelsea, he turns into a worldly and becomes a player we think he can be and then goes to Madrid for like 150 or something crazy fee. You can't come back from that. That's like an Everton selling us Wayne Rooney. Like Everton ain't doing nothing. Like that, we were going to turn into that. We used to sell to Madrid. Now we're selling to Chelsea.
I think you do this. I think Ratcliffe fails. I think this is like a marker of the beginning of failure. It's like, I think it's already fallen apart. I think, I've known some rich old guy, an arrogant rich guy, thinks he knows what he's doing. He bought one other football club, didn't go well, right? They're not doing great. And then he buys the biggest club in the world that's in a fucking tough spot. And then, like you said, no money was put on the balance sheet. The Glazers have run this club into the ground, and then he's the front man trying to do stuff. Doesn't really know, he has no time to make mistakes. That's the problem. The club is so in debt, so up to their eyeballs in money that they owe, that we just have no times for that. Make a mistake, learn from the mistake, figure it out. Because like you fucking sell Garnacho, and then try to buy two random kids, and they're not going to hit the ground running,
bro.
Note to self, unless you're getting an Osimhen, they're not going to hit the ground running, or their Premier League player who's already hitting the ground running.
Yeah, note to
it's
self,
not going to work out.
Sign
nobody.
By the way,
our track record is shit, dude.
What makes you think this club can sign anyone? Like, honestly,
we'll sign somebody. We'll just overpay for somebody.
Honestly, like, talk about going down the mountain. Some of these signings make me look like, hey, Wout Weghorst, get that guy back over here.
Don't
honestly, I swear to God.
No, you don't. He was hoofing around, bro. Remember Wolves? Remember how long-legged that guy is?
I'll tell you what. We have an inept attack.
We do.
And we've paid hundreds of millions for that. And that tells you everything about, like, that attack at this club tells you everything you need to know.
We're selling Garnacho because
everything.
Guess what? There's another homegrown player. There's another homegrown player we should be selling. His name is Rashford, and nobody wants to buy him because we gave him an absurd contract. That's the player you should be selling, bro.
Classic.
So, we wanted to sell Casemiro. We couldn't sell him. We sold McTominay. Hey, we use McTominay right now. We're dying for goals. Hey, we want to sell Rashford. Can't sell Rashford.
Hey, guess what?
Instead, we have to sell Garnacho. We are in the mud, bro.
Guess how much Rashford has control over the press? Because how many clubs were linked to him? Nobody buying him.
And then he's like, he can stay. He's working out extra sessions.
Let's just say
extra sessions.
I believe you, dude. All right, quick PSA for the podcast. It's tough.
We're in the mud.
It's been a tough go. And the fact that January, I definitely didn't have January concerned about selling star youngsters on the bingo card. I thought that we were going to be like, hey, we're going to get Osimhen in.
Yeah,
right. If you like the American Devils and you're in the mud, check out our YouTube channel, American Devils on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We just got off the ground. If you can help us with the algorithm, it goes a long way. To have other Muppets like yourself find our small YouTube channel. Also check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. We do an extra special behind the scenes video podcast every month. Tons of benefits. Great community. Check it out. Also check out our store, americanrevils.store. We got merch. Garnacho scarves.
You can get a Garnacho scarf and a Ted Hogg scarf at the same time.
I literally the Garnacho Argentina jersey got here 3 months ago.
I'll tell you what, this scarf is gonna fly off. Chelsea are gonna be buying it. Look, it's gonna look sick. Sick scarf. Chelsea.
Check out americanrevils.com.
Chelsea.
Alex is blogging about Garnacho headed out the door.
Fire sale.
podcast. We got a podcaster. 5 stars. Rate it. What should they do for the pod?
They should rate it 5 stars. Supporting the pod. John mentioned a bunch of great ways. Patreon, like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out our store. But another great way to support the pod is to write 5-star reviews. They go a huge way to help us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And we're giving away free merch. So all you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. Send a screenshot of the review to americanreddevils@gmail.com. And I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gears. And right to your door anywhere in the world. So play that funky music.
I don't think it's funky. It's serious.
Everything's funky.
Brick City.
In the mud, bro. I'm looking. I can't see nothing.
Fulham versus Manchester United. Sunday, January 26th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Need 3 points. Gotta have 3 points. Craven Cottage is the venue. We've been there multiple times. We've seen Fulham in the championship. I think actually play Ipswich with Mick McCarty on the touchline.
Great
So we were
seats.
sitting with the Ipswich reserves. That's how a 30 quid could get you a good seat. We were hanging out with the reserves of Ipswich. It's a great stadium.
Great stadium.
Actually has a cottage in it. That's one of those things they don't tell you about if you're coming over from the USA. You're like, oh, Craven Cottage, cool name. They actually have a cottage in the corner of the stadium where the owners sit. Sir, give us the weather.
It's going to be wet, mid-40s. Give me some Tums, sir. You got any Tums at Craven Cottage? Light rain, English weather. We would love to be there. Sir, we're going bougie. We're going bougie because it's Fulham. Fulham is the bougiest team in the English Premier League. We're going to the River Cafe in West London. It's an institution, Italian food. Get me some pasta. I don't know why you're looking at the interior, but we're going to the River Cafe, sir. What else is going on?
I see a pizza oven in sight,
Telling
which
you.
means like if you're not into double black diamond food like Alex, just get a cheese pizza. It's not going to upset your
Cheese
stomach before the
pizza.
game. Fulham. Have you played home games at Craven Cottage since 1896. They did spend 2 years at Loftus Road while Craven Cottage underwent redevelopments that were completed in 2004. Must be nice. They contest the West London Derby with rivals Brentford, Chelsea, and Queen's Park Raisins. The club has the white shirt and black shirts. They've been rocking that since 1903. They are London's oldest professional football club, and some may consider their top rivals to be Chelsea, but they haven't really been fighting too hard with them.
Maybe we should sell Garnacho to Fulham. You know? They're above us at the table. Sorry. Garnacho is fucking up the pot, sir. He's breaking our souls. Can't believe it.
Tell us about Marco Silva.
47-year-old Portuguese coach. Bounced around English football. He famously left Everton in 2019 when they were in the relegation zone. Took a couple years off. Think about football. You take a couple of years off. You know, you smell a lot better. Joined Fulham in 2021. And he's done well. He's done very well for the West London club, sir. Tactics. He likes, he's a tactical genius. Counter movements, overlaps, underlaps. And they like to send attackers between the opposition's defensive lines. A lot of counter movements involving players running, disrupting those defensive lines, drawing defenders out of position. So they're going to be very direct. They're going to be trying to overload us in the midfield. And they're also going to try and push United narrow so they can attack us wide in a vulnerable position. So do we know who Fulham are going to be? They're going to be looking fitter than us. It's about are we going to bring the physicality to Fulham, to their house? Because
we're going to bring it. We're going to bring
sorry,
it.
I'm not expecting.
By the way, do you know when we saw Fulham last year? We flew to Old Trafford last year to watch Manchester United beat Fulham.
how'd
It's
that
an
go?
easy fixture.
How'd
We
that
got
go?
absolutely smoked.
Yeah. Why do you think I started the pod the way I did?
So Fulham transfers. Emil Smith-Rowe came in. A lot of unforgettables, some young players. Sessegnon, left back, came on a free.
Actually, a bunch of players we were linked to. We were linked to Sander Berg at one point. We were linked to Joachim Anderson from Palace, who's actually a decent center back. So these are, it's basically our comp, sir. We're the Fulham of Manchester.
It's sad to see their recent results. Drew Ipswich 2-2, beat Watford 4-1 in the FA Cup. West Ham beat them 3-2, so they're good for conceding a few. And Fulham, they beat Leicester City 2-0. They've had a full week of rest. We are turning around from Europa League. That rest cannot be understated. The manager in the Europa League press conference talked about the pace of play from Rangers versus the EPL. EPL is a huge step up. We're going to feel it. Those legs are going to be tired. We don't have a lot of players. So Fulham going to be absolutely ready for it. Looking at the starting 11 for Fulham, Raúl Jiménez with Smith Rowe in the 10. Iwobi, he's a trickster on the left wing. He actually put us to the sword. Anthony Robinson,
best left back in the league.
I wish we were linked to him instead of some no-name
and then they priced us out.
Back. And yeah, now we're only shopping in the bargain bin. It's like the Glazers all over again. And the referee, unfortunately, Anthony Taylor, he's got a dumb-looking mug, and he's one of the worst.
And he is a dumb-looking mug. He's supposed to have a dumb-looking mug, and is, sir. The amount of errors he's made, we filled a full page, sir. He had a bunch of infamous errors last year, and then he had a bunch of high marquees in the Euros, where actually he was one of the only refs we got called out for having some difficult decisions. So expect him to give us. We haven't been getting a lot of calls recently. I would expect that to continue. Doesn't make me feel any more optimistic about our tie. Sunday night, such an odd. They like have late games on Sunday, but not late games on Saturday. 7 p.m. local time. That's also bizarre. Who's running the FA?
Very strange, but I'm sure it's good for TV rights and revenue. Manchester United's 11. Looking at this, Onana in net. This is when we played Brighton. We had Delit, Magoo, Euro center back line, Mazraoui, Ugarte, Manu midfield with Delo on the left, Diallo, Bruno, and Xerxes leading the attack. What kind of changes do you expect to this 11, given the manager needs a result, needs a win?
I think I'll definitely put Martinez in. I think he might keep Maguire, though, just because, Old English, and I think he'll bounce back. I do think he'll pull Manu. I think the front three looks good. I think the Maz and Delo is probably what we can expect, but I think he'll put Koyer in for Manu because Manu has now left himself, and his whole style of play is like you have to be confident and be able to take the ball in tight space and then turn it up the field, and he just hasn't looked himself this season, and Fulham are going to be packing the midfield. Like, they've got a pretty good midfield. They're going to be a challenge there, so those are the changes I would make. Sir, what are you thinking about the 11 heading into this game?
I think you got to try to give Højlund a shout. Xerxes, this Xerxes Højlund thing is just like you're playing ghosts.
Nobody can score.
It's unbelievable the money we spent to get these two. I hate to be the guy to call it, but when we brought in Cavani, I was like, oh, you know what? That guy can score. Højlund, what are we paying for this kid? He's like so unproven. Xerxes, who? What, this guy doesn't even play number 9. Why? We need a number 9. Why are we signing this guy? Those are the first. The Xerxes signing to me was the biggest red flag of the Ineos front office revolution. You got Ashworth, you got Wilcox, and then you need an out-and-out striker, and you signed Xerxes. Like, clearly the guy to go for was like a Solanke or something like that. How do you get
We're selling
to this situation?
Garnacho to Chelsea
I know.
January.
So, but that was the sign. And
that was the sign a couple months ago.
You could get behind it being like, hey, surely you got more money than just this. Or you're just trying to appease Ten Hag and you got more cash back there. But if you're starting to sell players like you don't, then why do you pay the money for
Remember, a different manager during the summer transfer window. So it's like these were not Ruben
manager
signings.
Doesn't make the signings, though. That's what I did.
Apparently not. Who knows what we're being
that
told.
Was the whole so
that was. But
I think it's going to be close to this with Lenny Euro out and Martinez coming in. And as far as odds, sir, what did the bookies have?
Sir, take my eyes, but not these odds. United, the underdogs, headed to Fulham. Like I said, plus 135 for the hosts, plus 230 for the draw, plus 200 for Manchester United on the road against Fulham. Craven Cottage never won a title, never won a piece of silverware. What do you got to say? Never won a thing.
We got a big update. I had, for the third time this season, the Europa League. I got the score right, the big plus 10er for getting the score right.
You've not got that 3 times. You had it twice.
No, but I had it once.
Okay.
You had it once, then I had it. So 3 times.
Okay.
A Muppet has got the score right.
It's hard.
3 for a result, 10 for the score. You're up. What do you got? Fulham away.
3-0 Fulham.
How dare you?
How dare I? Like I said, look at the fucking score sheet.
I think
but the reason I was in such a hole in this season was because I was Muppet for like the first 10 Hog games, and he was like picking daisies, doing nothing. I'm being a realist now. It's like, this is an L.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Manchester United.
I love it.
We're going to win. We got to win. Like, this is...
We got to win. I don't think we
can't
will.
overcomplicate it, but let us know what you think. Drop your score prediction in the comments below. Please like, subscribe. to the video. Also, support the podcast via Patreon, patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. You can also check out our store, grab some merch, Garnacho scarves. While he's still a Manchester United player, please pick those up. Otherwise, Alex has a garage full of Garnacho and Eric Ten Hag scarves. Please, Sir Jim, do not sell Garnacho. Sir, give us our top 10 cities last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Chicago, Illinois, Dublin, Ireland, Melbourne, Australia, Manchester, England, Houston, Texas, Brooklyn, New York, Los Angeles, California, Philly, PA, Oslo, Norway, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Need those Tums. Dying over here. Love you guys. We couldn't do it without you. Best fans in the world. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. I'll just keep telling myself that until United start winning again. It might be a while. I might be blue in the face. It was never going to turn around this quickly.
We have seen it all, sir. We have seen it all.
I won the lot. We won it, sir. Play the music.